Hello, welcome to another episode of Analog Recess. I am Jimmy.
I'm Tommy.
Awesome. And today we have a great special episode for you. We are going to be talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Quentin Tarantino.
Indeed, I can't wait. This man basically changed the movie genre, and it's never been the same since. Yep. So he's my all-time favorite movie director, and it's not even close.
Right?
Yep.
So we're going to be talking about our top 5 Quentin Tarantino movies. Let's go.
5. Let's go!
All right, let's get this on. Tommy, what's your number 5?
Cinco it's a no-brainer. It's Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown with Pam Grier, Samuel Jackson, Michael Keaton at the height of his career back in the early 90s, mid-90s. Yeah. And just an amazing film. Only 3 people died in the movie, total. But the soundtrack and the dialogue and the character development, dude, top. It's one of those movies, this is the type of Quentin Tarantino movie where you kick it on a couch on a Sunday afternoon. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just have it playing in the background because the story is interesting and clever, and I loved it. Mm-hmm. Number 5.
That scene where Smokey and Chris Tucker gets killed.
So, I ain't getting no trunk.
Get in the trunk.
Get in the trunk.
That's good.
Smokey.
Good stuff.
Rest in peace, Smokey.
Well, he's still alive. Chris Tucker.
No, I mean Smokey. Smokey got killed in the trunks. What are you talking about?
I think Smokey's from Friday. So
I know. I mean, no, he gets in the trunk in the movie, and then
Tarantino had a thing for trunks too.
He did.
There were several movies.
Well, he admits that he stole it from Repo Man.
Yeah, he took a lot of influence from other directors.
He did. But good directors.
Oh yeah, and
not like cheesy guys.
That showed his love for movies. You know, he started off as a movie guy in a movie place. He didn't even go to college for.
Not a Blockbuster, but a video store.
But he didn't even go to college for film writing. He did it all himself.
He did.
Self-taught. It's fucking awesome story.
He did. Yep.
So with me, I always like to do like a full list and then break it down to my favorites. And it was very hard. Like
you're choosing between children.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Not stepkids.
Not stepkids. Right. Like firstborn. Right.
Right. So out of all these, it was very hard. So my number 5, I went with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Dude, I love that's on my list, but higher than yours. Yeah, absolutely.
Came out in 2019.
Let's go.
It was Quentin's. It was the last movie he made.
Number 9.
Yes. Is it number 9?
It is number 9.
Yeah, because Hateful Eight was 8.
Yep.
Great cast. Leonardo DiCaprio. You got Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie. You had so many people in there that it was just an awesome cast. Leonardo DiCaprio, he was so eager to work with Quentin again, because he did with Django Unchained, that he took a huge pay cut just to be in this film.
Most actors and actresses will. That's the type of pull this man has with actors in Hollywood, for sure.
And Leonardo DiCaprio was so starstruck with one of his co-stars in this movie because he got to meet him and talk to him. Do you know who that was?
I do not.
Luke Perry.
Get out.
90210. Yeah.
Dude, Dylan's a god.
And Luke Perry passed away from a stroke, literally
while they were filming production. That's right.
So, rest in peace there. Yep. Quentin Tarantino, he said he spent 5 years working on this script. So the design on the wall in the airport in the scene in Once Upon a Time was also in the opening scene of Jackie Brown.
It was.
Yeah.
With the blocked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he loved to do that. Like, a lot of these directors do Easter eggs and stuff like that, but Quentin was the king of product placement. Not product placement, but his own product placement. Because he had his own brand of cigarettes that he would...
Red Apple.
Yeah, Red Apple. That they would do for every
movie.
He didn't like to get, do like mainstream...
Didn't want to do promotions with any other brand, so he basically invented brands. Red Apple. It's used in every movie.
Yeah. So there was some controversy too with this movie too, is that the whole Bruce Lee scene, which was phenomenal, but a lot of people did not like it.
Indeed.
China refused to certify the release for this movie in their country until Quentin said, we'll take this out, just take the scene out, and we'll release it in China. And you know what he
Right.
said? F you.
Right.
So also Shannon Lee, the daughter of Bruce Lee, didn't really like she was disappointed in the scene with Quentin Tarantino's direction in that. And also, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't like it as well.
I get it. These are people that, I'm one of those people too that worship at the altar of Bruce, for sure. I had that poster of Enter the Dragon in my room as a child when I was like 6 or 7 years old in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Tarantino himself, I think he said once, is that he loved Bruce Lee. So he
Loved
never wanted to disrespect it.
Kill Bill! Uma Thurman's wearing Bruce Lee's jumpsuit throughout the entire movie. Yeah. Come on, stop.
So it wasn't more of a disrespect for Quentin.
Not at all.
It was just he created a story.
Let's talk about that. The embellishments of the ending of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Sharon Tate did not live. She died.
Yeah.
And those Manson people never got killed.
Right.
They ended up doing time in prison and never executed.
Yeah.
So they live. And just like Inglourious Bastards with Hitler being murdered at the end. Come on, people.
It's all just what if.
Yeah, what if?
So that was that was a good amount of time for number 5. So Tommy, what do you got for your number 4?
Listen, my number 4 is a combination of Kill Bill 1 and 2. I remember seeing the first one in the theaters with some coworkers that were cinephiles like I am from Christopher's Restaurant. I'm still friends with to this day, and so we were blown away. I mean, dude, incredible revenge movie, incredible soundtrack, incredible cast. Bruce Lee and Kung Fu references abound. All the coolest of the cool for Kung Fu and sword fighting and revenge and blood and... Man, it's such a good movie. Yeah. It's so good. Yeah. 1 and 2. Yep. They're so good. And once again, Quentin getting kind of washed up actors and actresses where their careers may have been on the skids and turning it around for them. David Carradine, dude, as like the big boss because of Quentin's love of the TV show of the 70s, Kung Fu. Yep. Straight up. Straight up. And the Carradine family, they can act. Like, he's good. Like, his character, that acting chops, amazing. But man, oh man, when Go-Go and the gang show up at the dojo for a little rumble, it is chef's kiss for gore and blood. Between the two movies, Kill Bill 1, I like Kill Bill 1 better than Kill Bill 2, but they are one movie. So as a whole, I think it's my number 3. Nice. I didn't mean to tap my microphone. My number 3. Yeah.
So my number 4, I went with Reservoir Dogs. Fantastic movie. Came out in 1992.
So good.
Yeah. 1992 is Quentin's basically his very first written, directed, produced movie.
Money earned from scripts that that we're about to talk about throughout this episode of
selling scripts
to make the movie for this movie. Right.
But the cast on it, we got Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Steve Buscemi, Chris Penn. Quentin made a little cameo there. Michael Madsen.
Yep.
Just an awesome cast.
Indeed.
The film's budget was so low that Quentin had the guys bring their own clothing as wardrobe. So when they're all wearing their black suits, that's what they own those suits.
Got it.
So, and what's funny is that Chris Penn, I don't think, had a suit at the time because he wore that gray
That's right, yeah.
And so, but which was fitting because, you know,
dude, I thought it worked out perfectly that he stuck out being the spoiled brat, mafia son. Yeah, perfect.
But Quentin said in an interview on the BBC in 2009 that he said he's so proud of this movie, and it's always come up in like the top 10 heist movies of all time.
Indeed,
but
I'd agree
never
with that.
see the heist in the movie.
Not once.
That's what's great and brilliant about him is that
off-screen stuff.
You know it's a heist movie, but you don't see it, but you're still super intrigued.
Yeah,
and it makes it even more intriguing.
Quentin Tarantino delivered to the world a genre that you didn't know you needed, but you needed it. Reservoir Dogs was definitely his, like, I'm coming out. This is me. This is how I film. this is what we do, or this is what I do. He picks all those songs personally.
Oh yeah.
Personally. To make sure, and they are deep cut. Now they're not, because people play them all the time. But at the time when he did these movie soundtracks, spoken word between the songs was genius.
Oh,
you know, the only other people doing that were club DJs. You know, at the time. So
you had Little Green Bag.
So good. With Stephen Wright doing the monologue of the radio disc jockey. Amazing. Steelers wheel.
Jerry Rafferty.
Jerry Rafferty, baby.
So in the movie, though, Mr. Blonde, which is Michael Madsen, his real name is Vic Vega, and they say it a little bit in one of the back.
So my buddies and I were thinking, okay, what's the reason? What is this? Vincent Vega's brother?
Yeah. So in
you're like an answer this for me because I want to know.
In the pulpfiction, or I'm sorry, in the Quentin Tarantino
world
universe,
right?
They are brothers.
They are. Yes. I knew it. Yes. I knew it. I absolutely knew it.
And Tarantino wanted to make a movie called Double V Vega, where they're
out.
But you know, by the time that it was going to be made and stuff like that, they were just too old.
Yeah, his genre has changed a lot since then too, from the uber violent to more like character driven type. I mean, they were always character driven. I didn't mean to say it like that, but oh my God, that would have been killer. My buddies and I, that was the bong hit college day, like sitting around at 2 a.m. going. Conceptual, what's in the briefcase?
Yeah,
it's got to be gold.
Right.
It's gold bars.
And
that's what it is.
No,
it's the soul.
No one knows.
Why is the Band-Aid on the back of Winston Marsalis? Yeah, dude.
Marcellus Wallace.
Marcellus Wallace.
Dean
That's
Rains,
it. Yeah.
So Quentin Tarantino partially financed this film from another a gig he did previously. He was an Elvis impersonator on an episode of Golden Girls.
Dude, I gotta find that. You said that earlier before.
I'm gonna put a little screenshot of that.
Find that episode. Yeah.
So that was my number 4, Reservoir Dogs. So Tommy, what do you got for number 3?
Number 3 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's his ninth movie. It spoke to me. I'm basically the age of these two cats that have seen better days. You know, their careers are kind of winding down, and very much still alpha male. And I thought the movie was fantastic. I put it. It's why it's number 3, and he's got a lot of stuff. And the movie spoke to me. And once again, cinematography, soundtrack, the era. I was born in '68, so. But regardless of that, it's a fascinating time, and the ending is incredible. The most violent, in my opinion, of his movies. You don't think so?
I think Kill Bill's up there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Taking the chick's head and smashing against the fireplace?
I mean, that was brutal, but I mean,
wait, I'm not done yet. And then having his dog chew up the dude's nutsack. You know, that was it was good times. Oh, yeah. It was great. But anyway, regardless of that, I thought the movie was fantastic. I loved it. It's my number 3.
All right, I like that. 3.
Yeah.
So Trace for me, number 3. So this was a movie that Quentin Tarantino wrote, but he didn't direct or produce it. And this is True Romance. Came out in 1993.
I know the movie. I saw the movie in the theaters.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Beautiful movie. Great cast. You got Kristen Slater, Patricia Arquette, Dennis Hopper, Gary Oldman, Christopher Walken, Brad Pitt makes a cameo, and then James Gandolfini also makes a small little cameo as well.
That had to be an early movie for him.
It was. That's like kind of what put him on the scene, really, because this was way before The Sopranos. Quentin Tarantino was trying to get money from people by selling his scripts. To make money, he offered to Tony Scott, and Tony Scott's, well, I want Reservoir Dogs. He's like, no, that's for me. I'm going to direct that movie. I'll give you either True Romance. Or I'll give you Natural Born Killers.
I'm glad he took True Romance because Natural Born Killers suck.
I like that movie. opening sequence of the film where there's like a little xylophone playing, and they played at the very end whenever like they show him on the beach with his son, and they're like playing and stuff like that. It's a little xylophone, but that little and it's part of the score. But that little tidbit was by Hans Zimmer.
Had to be his early days.
Yeah.
Had to be his early days.
Love Hans Zimmer.
Me too.
Yeah, he's
huge fan.
He's awesome. But Tony Scott spent over a year searching for the right actress to play Alabama Whitman, and some considered and rejected were Bridget Fonda, which
I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Diane Lane, Juliette Lewis, Uma Thurman. Yeah, she would have been really young at the time.
Yeah,
and then Julia Roberts. Although Quentin Tarantino didn't direct this, he considered this one of his most personal and favorite movies that he's ever been in.
By another director. Absolutely, yes.
One thing that though is that Gary Oldman, who did a fantastic job of Drexel, he always gets, he's a method actor, so he gets very intense and deep into his character. And Tony Scott came to him and said, hey, he's basically, you're a white guy who thinks he's black and is a pimp. Go with it. And Gary Oldman went with it. He got so into it that he went to his wig guy. He is a wig guy. So when he did Bram Stoker's Dracula, he had a wig guy for that pompadour, weird-looking wig that he had in that movie. So he went to his wig guy and said, hey, make me a white guy dreadlock look situation. And then he had the contact lenses from Bram Stoker's Dracula too, and he wore one of them. So like he just made that part was just fantastic.
It was great.
Kudos to him for that. But yeah, that was my number 3, True Romance. Tommy, what do you got for number 2?
God, number 2. Here we go for the home stretch. And the home stretch is the hardest home stretch in movie choices I probably will or ever have to make. And that is the choice of Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction. Because, look, we're Tarantino. Like, and anyone who doesn't say that those is 1 and 2, they're crazy. So, I'm going to have to choose Reservoir Dogs. Number 2. Loved it. Remember it like it was yesterday, the first time I witnessed it. Witnessed, like, kind of like some type of spiritual experience. I say that very seriously with my buddies. And then after we saw it, we had to be the disciples to go out to the world back in the 90s and make sure that all of our bros made sure that they had, I need to watch you watch this on videotape right now. Back in the day, you'd stare at your friend seeing their reaction the first time they watched it. So
me and my buddy saw it when it came out back then too, and we were younger than you, but I remember this pin I got right here I've had for like since then.
Look at that!
I found it. I was like, holy cow, I can't believe I still have this.
Love it. Yeah.
Great movie.
Great movie. That's my number 2.
So for me, numero dos, my number 2 I have, which was probably now Tommy's number 1, is Pulp Fiction. And like I said, number 1 and 2 could go either way. My number 1 and my number 2, I like them the same pretty much. They're both different, but they're both Tarantino. But the genres are different, but they're just so freaking good. But Pulp Fiction came out in 1994. Another fantastic cast. You got John Travolta, who was making a comeback. Uma Thurman, Samuel L. Jackson, who was just starting
Harvey
off
Keitel.
and went on that up thing. Bruce Willis. Harvey Keitel. Ving Rhames was a very good one too.
Great.
But the cost of the movie, it only cost them $8 million to make. But it after the the box office was said and done, it grossed over $200 million. So the return, the ROI on that was really
incredible.
Yeah, little tidbits here, and I can go all
day. Give it to me, man.
But I'm gonna keep them short. But Marcellus Wallace and Mia never speak to each other on screen.
That's correct.
They never have any dialogue.
But they are in the same scene when she's laying out. Remember, she picks up the phone.
Poolside.
Yep.
That's the only interaction they have where but they don't speak throughout the whole movie.
Right.
Which is kind of cool. Some other people were considered for the roles of these characters. Vince Vega, obviously Michael Madsen. They wanted him to do it, but he took the role of Wyatt Earp, one of the Wyatt Earp brothers.
Tombstone. No, Wyatt Earp. The movie Wyatt Earp. Yeah.
He was one of the brothers. And so he couldn't do them both because
Right.
the production company, because he tried.
Yeah.
And production company said, no, you're going to stick to us.
Got it.
Obviously, John Travolta. Alec Baldwin was a candidate.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman.
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. I know. Andy.
You're like, I know. He just kept rolling with it. I'm like making a face.
But here's some other good ones. Andy Garcia, not bad. Michael Keaton. Denzel Washington.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that
would have been
different.
interesting.
Denzel on heroin. That would have been awesome. Jules, who was Samuel L. Jackson, other people considered was Lawrence Fishburne.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy. I think it would have been it's hard for him to play a serious role, even though
Has
he's
he
done it
played
now.
any serious roles?
Yeah, I think it was like that Mr. Church or something like that.
That's
He did
right, but that's
really well.
one movie.
Right.
I mean, I would watch that.
Yeah.
I want to see what his chops are.
Yeah.
I would see like what his range is for sure.
Yep.
That intrigues me.
Yeah.
Because I know he's a good actor.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
And then Butch, who was Bruce Willis, other people considered was Matt Dillon, Nicolas Cage.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? He's
for sure.
Craziness to it.
He would be great.
And Johnny Depp.
I could see that too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mia Wallace, who Uma Thurman played. Other people were Marissa Tomei.
I could see that.
Yeah. Patricia Arquette.
Definitely.
Jennifer Beals. I guess Jennifer Beals and Quentin Tarantino are really good friends. And in fact,
From Fame?
from Flashdance.
I mean, Flashdance.
Yeah. She had an apartment, and Quentin Tarantino lived with her for a while when he was younger and didn't have, the money. And then Phoebe Cates. Oh, and Pam Grier was also up for the role. So Quentin Tarantino has a thing for Pam Grier.
Well, yeah, because she's got huge tracts of land that she's shown in multiple. She's shown though. You don't have to look.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know,
70s. Yeah.
they're amazing.
Oh yeah. There has been 2 movies that Bruce Willis and John Travolta were in together. Besides this one, can you name at least one of them? Actually, it's a sequel. Both the movies they were in was the same movie, but one was a sequel. Terrible movie. Look Who's Talking. Other movies that came out in 1994, which Pulp Fiction was kind of like back in the bag because these other blockbuster huge hits came out.
Right.
So Pulp Fiction didn't get the clout that all these other movies did, but Speed came out that same year. True Lies.
The Crow.
Forrest Gump.
Yep.
And Shawshank Redemption.
Dude, listen.
With Gump and Shawshank, yeah, of course you're going to be kind of put
Look,
by the
it was when Hollywood at that time was chugging on all cylinders with original movies, original scripts, really good directors, and now we have what we have.
Right.
We have what we have.
So in the movie, Uma Thurman talks to John Travolta about the pilot that she did for Fox Force 5. And it's kind of funny, me and my buddies, whenever we were trying
Tomato.
Yeah.
Ketchup.
Me and my buddies were trying to sneak shots back in the day. We would say Fox Force 5, and we would know that was our code. Let's go do a shot when the ladies don't see us and stuff like that. So, but
that's
anyways,
awesome.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. And
I love that.
So she said, hey, when we were talking about Fox Force 5, why don't you do a movie about that? And that's where Kill Bill came. All the Fox Force 5 members, one was the blonde one was the leader. The Japanese fox was a kung fu master. The black girl was a demolition expert. And she said mine was knives.
Man, that's Quentin Tarantino. Next level stuff, man. I mean, seriously, it's great.
And then in the movie, Jules, Samuel L. Jackson character, had a wallet that said,
Bad motherfucker.
Bad motherfucker. And that was actual Quentin Tarantino's wallet at the time. And it's,
no kidding.
It's a reference to the movie Shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which later in life, Samuel L. Jackson.
Shut your mouth. Just talking about Shaft.
When they redid Shaft, Samuel L. Jackson was Shaft. So full circle. That was my number 2. So dude. Tommy, what is your number?
Dude, it's a no-brainer. Number 1 is Pulp Fiction.
So we can keep talking about it, basically.
Have at it. Have at it. Like everyone if anyone's watching this, they know a line or two.
Right. There's so many.
That movie like literally set the bar for every Hollywood movie that's worth a damn moving forward. Straight up. Yeah. It set the bar like for directors, for soundtracks, for acting, for everything. It changed the landscape of what a good non-corporate movie was supposed to be, and Pulp Fiction hit every one of those things perfectly. Yeah. And that movie set the stage for good, like not just good, amazing, like for the record book type movies for Hollywood, that when this video is 1,000 years old and some alien comes down to Earth and you have to grab a movie, Pulp Fiction is a top 3 movie all time. All time. Yeah. It is. And it's,
well said. Well said.
I'll stop there.
So my number 1, which Tommy talked about this earlier, but I had to go with this one, number 1. Like I said, it could have been number 2, but I don't know, just the style it is, the whole like kung fu aspect, Japanese aspect, you know, all the samurai and blah blah blah. It was just a well done movie. That was Kill Bill.
It's an incredible movie.
Yeah, came out in 2000. The first one came out in 2003, and then the second one came out in 2004. Great cast again: Uma Thurman, David Carradine, who Tommy said earlier was, you know, kind of. He was almost poverty-stricken. I heard an article that he was not doing well when that movie, before he got the chance to make this movie. Daryl Hannah, Lucy Liu, Michael Madsen, Vivica A. Fox, and Sonny Chiba, who was awesome old school kung fu movie guy. Played Hattori Hanzo. You'll like this though. Approximately $60,000 of the movie's budget was used on swords and swords accessories.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. That's attention to detail.
Well, the House of Blues fight, the House of Blue Leaves, where the Crazy 88s and
why the Crazy 88s? Because it sounded cool.
Right.
That's what the line for the movie.
When them and Beatrix are fighting, the sequence to film that fight scene, it took 8 weeks, which was the exact same amount of time for the full movie of Pulp Fiction.
Crazy.
Right.
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
There were some other people that were up for the roles. People that they wanted to play Bill but passed up on playing Bill was Jack Nicholson. He's a little too old. Kurt Russell, who's done a lot of Quentin's movies.
That would have been weird. He's great in Tarantino movies, but I can't see him in that role. Right. I just can't.
Mickey Rourke.
Really?
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite actors from the early years, the 80s.
Kevin Costner.
Definitely not. Yeah. Like, dude, I'm not going to do any facial expressions. These are bad. I can't picture anyone else.
Carradine did such a good job.
But Carradine was the best. He was the best.
Burt Reynolds.
Way too old.
Also Warren Beatty. But Warren Beatty was the one that suggested David Carradine. So that's kind of
interesting. Okay.
Quentin has a lot of trademarks. Like one being where the trunk scene in a lot of movies where the trunk's open and you get the perspective of somebody from inside the trunk.
Right.
And also looking down in the trunk. But one of the things Quentin loves to do is show women's feet.
Dude, he does have a fetish. Uma's feet are in every movie, and it's creepy as
when she's dancing in Pulp Fiction with John Travolta, she's barefoot. Lucy Liu, when she jumps on the table to chop that dude's head off,
you're ruining this.
She's barefoot.
This episode is being ruined by Tarantino's foot fetish.
Once upon a time,
straight up as a foot fetish.
Hollywood.
I know.
Margot Robbie, barefoot.
Move life toes in Kill Bill. Yeah. Remember that in the hospital bed?
So much when it comes to that.
Dude, let it go. Jesus. Like, what the F?
And then the last bit I thought was kind of cool.
Are we going to use that?
Yeah. Here, let's get this. And then the last tidbit I have is the RZA was brought in by Quentin Tarantino to help him with the sound effects and the music from Kung Fu films. To help out with Kill Bill. And he knew that because he felt that the RZA's knowledge was like matched his own.
It does.
Like he knew just as much.
I own the movie. We should do a watch party. Whoops. Damn it. I have The Man with Iron Fists That was a RZA movie produced by Tarantino. It's a old school kung fu movie, man.
Yeah.
It's great. And RZA he gets his hands cut off.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember
he
seeing
and
the
he
video of
makes.
that.
Yeah, I own that.
Okay.
Yeah, we can watch that anytime, man. I love that movie.
That's
It's
another
great.
thing. We're going to do viewing parties.
We
gonna
are.
watch a
Moving
movie
forward.
and talk about it as almost like science mystery theater.
Yep. We
gonna
need to
be
do
fun.
that. Yeah, for sure.
So that was our top 5.
Boom.
We're going to real quick. We're going to throw some honorable mentions out there. Though.
Need to.
We have Django Unchained. Fantastic.
Amazing.
That could be easily in the top 5.
Easily.
Right.
All these movies you're about to mention can be in the top 5. Just they didn't make the cut.
Right. Hateful Eight, Inglourious Bastards.
So
Great
good.
movie.
So good.
And then finally From Dusk Till Dawn.
Definitely. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Well, with all great movies, especially Tarantino's, you have to have a good soundtrack, which we talked about in our last episode. But you can't have a good soundtrack without good music. So, Tommy, tell us about the guitar you have for us today.
This is the Fender Special Run from 2023. This guitar was a guitar that was the brainchild of Jimmy Vaughn, Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother, back in the mid-90s, where he wanted to produce a affordable, high-quality instrument called the Tex-Mex, meaning it was made in Mexico, designed in the US. The trick was he designed these pickups that are since the mid-90s have been extremely popular, called the Tex-Mex pickups, which were kind of Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimmy Vaughn, Texas bluesy, hotter type pickups to do blues, like ZZ Top rock and stuff like that, and they've become synonymous with quality. So this guitar came out in 2023, and this one was done in Daphne Blue. The one that I used to have was a Sunburst, kind of similar to a bass that's right there. That's called Sunburst. Whoop. There it is. That. The only modification I made to the guitar is a Tusk string tree here, as well as I switched out the jack to a Switchcraft branded jack. Enough of the guitar. The guitar is the guitar. The main thing that I really wanted to discuss today, and it's going to be in the little tune I do, is the pedals I'm going to be using, sponsored by BMF Effects from my lovely friend Scott K, who hand makes every pedal made to order, including the little red compressor that is going to be shown up here in the video, as well as Lawrence Petros of LPD Designs, LPD Pedals, with his limited release he does once a year called the Dutch. Both these in tandem together make for a glorious sound for good blues playing. Compressor into a distortion pedal, or an overdrive pedal I should say, is like PB&J. Works great. I'll play a little, I think some surf music I think is on tap.
Fitting.
Yeah, fitting. So the first pedal that we're going to talk about from BMF Effects is a famous pedal that most guitar guys have, and it is absolutely amazing. It is truly a compressor, by the way, people. This pedal, what it actually does is, and I got flybys of that, is it takes the lows and makes them, if you have low signal, it makes it higher, and it takes the high signals and it makes it lower. So you have this smushed sound, tone, if you will. And what makes it fascinating is you hear some type of compression on just about every guitar song, other than maybe heavy metal. Heavy metal doesn't like compression. Blues, like pop songs. David Gilmour used that pedal as well for the majority of Dark Side of the Moon, as well as The Wall was an nice. So basically it's Scott K going, basically recreating that pedal from the early 70s and he did an amazing job. I love the compression pedal. It's my favorite style of pedal with guitar. Anyway, point being, so that pedal's done. The next one, Lawrence Petros Designs. He does a pedal once a year for a limited run called the Dutch, which is a overdrive pedal that is a transparent overdrive pedal, which kind of gives stages of distortion. So you can have mild distortion for like just a little bit of crunch, and then you can hit another button and go into the next level of, you know, harder rock, harder blues. But I've been wanting to get in on the Dutch for many, many years, but unfortunately it always sells out before I can get it. And this is the first time I've been able to get the 2024 model of LPD's version of the Dutch.
Awesome.
So that's it.
All right. Awesome, Tommy. Thank you so much. That was very educational.
You got it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you
again for joining us for another episode of Analog Recess.
By the way, episode 10, this is number 9, right? Mm-hmm. Dude, 10, we're going to... Our favorite band, top 5 songs from our all-time favorite band is on episode 10.
It'll be hard. Yeah, but it'll be fun.
It'll be super fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, please, everyone, subscribe, like, hit that bell for some notifications. Leave some comments as well.
Yep.
And until next time,
go shrimp. Let's go.